sweetie.
Hi, everybody. It's Linda G, and I'm here with Mel.
Hey.
Our Mel Monday, and I'm gonna be on his show next Monday, and then he'll have his surgery on Thursday.
July the 6th. So everybody send healing energy.
We're gonna do prayers.
I asked this doctor, her name is Dr. Kirsten Stenson. She's just the most amazing human being. She's an angel. So I said, because she told me they'll go from the inside to do, to remove whatever they got to take out. And then they'll cut from here down because they have to get biopsy the lymph nodes, even though the CAT scan didn't show any lymph node involvement. And I said, do you think you could do something with this turkey chin while you're at it? And she started laughing. She said, if I knew how to do it, I would. I go, honey, it's really easy. Just pull. She said, it might be lopsided. I said, my whole life is lopsided. I just got diagnosed with cancer. So
oh my God.
She was
listen, I have some good news about our event in San Francisco. I'm ordering the little gift packets today.
And I'm going to be able to go. Yay.
38 seats have already been sold.
Yay.
So we only have 12 left.
We've only got 12 left.
And I've only had that thing up a day and a half.
See, I told you it would sell fast.
Yep.
I don't know if it takes a psychic to say that. Oh, but we're talking about Linda G here.
Well, we got Kevin and Mel, and it's at the Women's Center in San Francisco. And it's going to be us in groups of like 16 apiece. And each person will get a little taste of us. If you want to ask a question, or you want to do readings, but we're gonna be doing. We probably should be playing chairs. What you call chairs?
Musical chairs.
So I'll give you guys more details about the parking when I get it from Mark Rhodes, who's assisting us.
Thanks, Mark. Hi, Mark.
But
thanks.
I will tell you, I booked us our rooms because I booked our rooms at the Hilton in Union Square. It's only 12 miles away. We can Uber down there, but it is $200 a night.
Not bad.
Very good for San Francisco.
Oh,
they're having a hard time filling hotels, so it's carte blanche. Even the Ritz Carlton is $400, and that's unheard of. It's $900 in Santa Cruz or San Mateo for the Ritz Carlton.
I'm excited about it. The doctor, like I said, I asked the doctor and she said, you're going to San Francisco and you're going to Italy. I said, yes.
Yay. I love it.
I wear the bandana just in case. I got to hide the scar. I just might not wear it. Just leave the scar.
I told him, wear your scar proudly. Be proud, man.
I'm going to ask her if she'll take the other tonsil out while she's in there because don't want to have to go through this again.
Yeah. It's reminds me of a joke someone told me. A Scottish man came to the United States to watch a baseball game. And everybody stood up and clapped. I guess, what is it is it 4 balls? What is a ball again? It's 4 balls and you're out, or 4 strikes.
3 strikes and you're out.
No, but what's a ball? Ball 1, ball 2.
Strike 1, strike 2, strike 3.
Well, they said balls.
Okay.
And everybody was clapping because it was 3 balls, And he looked around, he said, why are you guys clapping for him? Well, 3 balls. He struck out. And he gets, he got to walk though. So
yeah, I see. If it's like 3 fouls or something, then you
but
can
it's something to do with the balls. Yeah
right.
So whatever it was with the balls, he got to walk to first base and everybody was clapping. And he said, what happened? It was either 3 balls or 4 balls. I'll get the joke straight later. And the man looked around, he stood up and he clapped. He says, walk with pride, Mom, walk with pride. He thought he had more than 1 ball, 2 balls. Anyway, forget that part. So anyway, and we also wanted to mention that in 1963 today, John F. Kennedy said the famous words in Berlin.
Ich bin ein Berliner. And that,
tell us what it means.
Well, actually in German, and standard German is ich, which is I, but in Berlin they say ich. So ich bin ein Berliner with that Boston accent. It means I you- like I am an American. It means I am a Berliner. I am a Berliner.
Okay.
And so I think he said that in reference to, because it had been, Germany had just been separated into the east and to the west, and they put the wall up. And so I think he was referring to anti-communism when he said, Ich bin ein Berliner.
Yeah.
And with that Kennedy accent. So it means I am a Berliner. And if you're a girl or a female, you say, Ich bin ein Berlinerin, because you have to put the I-N on the end of it to say it's feminine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, little German grammar there.
Yeah. Okay. So are you ready for the questions?
I'm ready. We got a bunch of them.
We sure do. You want to grab the first one?
Yeah. Actually, this is from your questions, but when I posted on mine, because I just shared it on my community board, it shows the questions people are asking. So, okay. So this one is from Sue Prug, I think. She goes, I'm back. She goes, my son is going on vacation. Will he be okay? She says, I'm deaf, so have to watch the captions. Please make sure that the captions are on. So she's wanting to know if her son's going to be okay while he goes on vacation. And I'm hearing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, most definitely. Didn't YouTube fix that? They make sure that the closed captions are always going.
I think when you set it up, you have to, when you go into posting this, it'll give you that thing for captions, and you have to put that on. So,
okay, because I know that.
Yes, her son will be okay.
Also, on the video itself, you got a CC you hit on the top.
Correct.
Okay, Christine. Hello, lovely Linda and Mel. With so many Republicans in the Senate, why do we only hear from a few? Where are the rest of them? They're afraid to speak up.
They have no part of that anatomy, like you just talked about with the Scottish guy at the baseball game.
Yeah. I think it's 4 balls and you walk.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's 4 balls and you walk. That's what they told. They turned and told him he had 4 balls. Why is everybody clapping? He has 4 balls. Walk with pride, man. Walk with pride.
Well, that's exactly what some people in the House are lacking. I think they're afraid to speak up because of Cheeto. But sorry, I couldn't pass that off.
And Cheeto is way.
I do call him Cheeto.
I was looking for Sky News on my Sirius XM, and they don't have Sky News. They have. I'm starting to listen to the BBC and Sky News because it's less stressful than MSNBC and stuff. It accidentally said, "Oh, you want Fox News?" I'm like, I never said Fox News. And that short period of time it was on there. Oh, 78% of the nation really are unhappy with what's going on in the United States. And people are really worried about how old Biden is. They're going with the same old, same old.
Well, how old is Trump? The same age.
He's a couple of years younger. And okay. look at the two of them together. Look how in shape.
I know.
I mean, Biden.
I think President Biden's got a little knee problem. That's what I intuit.
He walks. Well, he's he walks like something's hurting him.
But I saw him walking, and my light bulb went on. I'm like, he's got a knee problem, but he can go in for knee surgery. He's going to be fine. I mean,
yeah.
Trump's got a head problem. He did.
Because he can't fit through a door. His head is so big.
Back to the question about having certain parts of the anatomy in the House. You're right. They're afraid to speak up against Cheeto, but also.
Thank you. For some reason, I didn't even touch it. Some reason this thing put it on pause. That's weird.
I don't know if it stopped or if it paused, but
it just paused. Thank God.
But back to the question about why aren't they speaking up? I think behind closed doors, a lot of you know, center line Republicans are speaking out about Trump behind closed doors, and also about McCarthy. I think right now they just, you know, don't want to start a bunch of stuff with the MAGAs, but that too will change. And you know, if Marjorie Taylor Greene tries to impeach, or Boebert tries to impeach Biden, it's going to be a nothing burger.
It's not going to happen.
Right. So I think behind closed doors they are, but I do see a lot more Republicans that are more center starting to speak out.
Well, also they don't want, you know, the reasons that we impeached Donald Trump were significant. They're
Right.
making up stuff as they go along. So what does that say when the Democrats take over? Can they just impeach somebody willy-nilly?
Can you pause it for a second?
Sure. We had to
Sorry.
take a little station break, you guys.
Now my doctor called and Linda got to hear the conversation. So
And then he finally had to tell me, shh, because I'm like, what did he say?
no, I didn't do that.
I didn't do that either.
Anyway, so we're back. So the Republicans are some of the people in Congress. They, you know, behind closed doors, my guides tell me they really are speaking up against T-Rump. But that's how I see it. I think they're afraid of they don't want to run the risk of, you know, dealing with MAGA, however you say it. But
well, I know that even the top-notch people that donate really don't want him in.
no,
They don't want him in again.
nope. Nor does Disney.
Right. And I'd like to bring this up because all over the news, I've been listening to Skype News, which I like way better than all the other news. Apparently, have you heard that gentleman from the Russian group that marched? What was his name?
Oh, I forget. No, I forget.
Pro something starts with a P. Mr. P. Let's call him Mr. P.
Mr. P.
And the group is called what again?
I don't know, but
Something, but it looks one way, but you pronounce it another way.
right.
So weird how I just keep falling out with it. So anyway, Mr. P did a video and he said that he wasn't out to do a coup. He had been saying he wasn't doing a coup. What happened was those generals stopped supplying him with weapons. He thinks they weren't telling Putin the truth.
They weren't.
And they killed a bunch of his men.
Correct.
And the reason that they fought back on their way in is because they killed another 30 men. That's why they shot down those planes.
But you and I had said something. And I remember this. We were talking about Belarus and we were talking about Lukashenko, who's like Putin, whatever. And we had said that we felt Belarus very near a civil war, people protesting. But we also said the same thing about Russia, that people will be protesting, that some of Putin's top people were going to turn against him. And here's where we are.
Exactly.
And so, you know, Putin came back with that, oh, you know, they're traitors, they're treasonous, or this or that. But why do you think this guy's being so public? Because he doesn't want to get pushed out a first floor window.
Yeah, he wants everybody to know. Also, he reemphasized the real reason that Putin is doing this war. It's got nothing, it's got, because of those generals wanting to make some quick cash off Ukraine. And they thought they would go in there and take over. And he also said they weren't being honest with Putin.
Well, but Putin knows better. Come on. It had nothing to do with Nazism. Come on, give me a break. Zelensky's Jewish. And that's the excuse that they needed. And well, there's some Russian people speaking. There's some Russian speaking people there. Most people there do speak Russian because of the Soviet Union.
Zelensky speaks Russian.
Well, they do. I mean, they speak Ukraine, but they also speak Russian. Especially the old timer was a part of the Soviet Union. So, you know, I knew that when Putin went into Crimea, that was a litmus test to see how far he could get by with invading Ukraine. And he told Ukraine, you know, give us your nuclear weapons back. And, you know, if you don't join NATO, we're not going to do anything. And I knew that was BS. I saw an invasion. So did you. And here we are.
Oh God, I'll never forget the day I got the hit with it too. I
But
could
more
see
and more
children
people,
dying.
more and more people in Russia and Belarus are disliking Putin. And
Oh, I'm telling you, his numbers have plummeted.
well, I'm saying that this isn't over with this guy we're talking about.
Well, I don't know if it's the guy or the people that were around the guy, because there are a lot of people. Oh, by the way, what happened was July 1st was the end of the contract, okay, with this group. The Wagner, or they call it Wagner or something like that. They pronounce it different. July 1st was the end of the contract, so that was coming up. And they wanted all of them to join the Russian army. And none of them wanted to join the Russian army. And that's why they were pissed off. And as it is, they told everybody, you're free to go, but we would like you to sign up for the Russian army. 1% of them signed up for the Russian army.
Yeah, because you got to bring your own clothes, your own food, your own sleeping gear. What's that about?
Oh, it's terrible. So anyway,
A lot of people.
but I feel an uprising, not necessarily from this guy, or maybe he's behind the scenes, but I see it uprising with someone within the group. A lot of these people are already panicking.
That's
a lot of the people within this Putin group are panicking.
That's exactly what I see. My light bulb went on, and there is going to be an uprising, and I see Putin gone.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I see who else coming out of jail at some point is Navalny.
I saw him. I saw him opening that door and standing in the sunlight. I saw this maybe even a year ago. And I told everybody it was such a strong vision. Hopefully it's not the other side. He was going towards the light, but he was standing like this, and the sun was, the light was beaming him. He looked weak, but
he kind of reminds me of Nelson Mandela in South Africa when they jailed Nelson Mandela, but then Mandela became, I think, president of South Africa.
Yeah.
And so Navalny, I can see, I could be wrong, but I see him in a leadership role.
Or working with the leaders.
That's correct.
So, okay, you got another question?
Yes. This is a good one. Frida Farrick asks, thank you for your readings, all of them, Linda, G, and Mel. You're welcome. I'm in California, and 3 wonderful people are running for Dianne Feinstein's place. Who do you recommend we support? Adam Schiff, Katie Porter, or Barbara Lee? I can't recommend you supporting anybody, but I can tell you who I see is going to win.
Me too. I think it's Schiff.
So do I. I think when they censured him in the House,
that brought him up.
That was the best thing they could have done, because
just like with Trump, and he got more money.
It launched him politically.
I think Katie Porter already knows it's done.
She does, but you know, I see her going places as well.
Yeah. And I really like Barbara Lee. I've told the story before, but she saved my dad with some VA problems. He wrote her. I told him, Dad, you need to write your representative, and he wrote her. And within 2 to 3 months, after 3 years, it was resolved.
Well, they're both going places, Katie Porter and Barbara Lee. I can see Katie Porter maybe at some point. I don't know if she's in the House, but I see her winning an elected position. But I also see one of them or both of them in high-level appointments as well in a government cabinet.
I think Katie Porter might be representing a monetary system in some sort of way.
She will be.
She might take the place of that gray-haired woman.
That's what I see.
Yeah.
So, all right. That was a good question. But
okay, and here's another question from Anja. When I was in the 2nd grade, our math assignment was to write down a word problem, solve it, and then we could draw anything we wanted on the top half of the sheet. Without any conscious thought or plan, I drew a perfect little spaceship with a clear bubble top, control board, joystick, and myself, I guess, in the pilot seat. There wasn't one correction or erasure. Would love to hear what you both are intuiting about this. I still have the drawing. Continued speedy healing to perfect health, Mel.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know, she could have been telepathically hooked in.
That's what I'm thinking. Just totally unconscious.
Yeah, that's what I picked up.
Yeah, I think, and I think she knows it. She doesn't even really have to ask us. So interesting, you know, all the answers are within you. If
But
you're
some people,
quiet and just listen,
I
get it.
think, but as a psychic, intuitive, a lot of people, when they come into my office, they already know the answer. They just need affirmation.
Yes,
And that's kind of what we do. We give affirmation.
yes.
Okay. Oh, this is nice. C. Bredfield says, no questions from me, but I'm rooting for Mel and his healing. Thank you. I have to thank everybody for the outpouring of love. You, Linda, have been amazing. Kevin Chandler, Kevin Lewis, even Violetta.
Reached out.
Oh yeah, I mean, she asked for prayers. Sterling, his read on it.
Yeah.
My family.
Sterling told Mel from the beginning, well, yeah, I'm feeling whatever it is resolved and he's going to be okay. He didn't say, oh, I have a bad feeling, Linda.
Freebird Spirit. I mean, everybody.
Yeah, Debbie,
so
everybody wishes you, Kim.
The whole community, and I'm so thankful.
Yeah.
But so once again, I want to thank everybody and people who watch the show. They've been amazing. Like I said, my sister in Kentucky, my brother-in-law, my niece, the whole family has just been
gathered around.
My nephew, they all
But
said,
isn't it easier to live right now? Can you go to sleep at night knowing that everything's going to be okay?
I'm nervous about the surgery.
We all can be nervous. Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be a huge surgery. But I said to the doctor, I said, I've been through open heart surgery. And she goes, well, it's not going to be as bad as that. And I said, how about kidney stone? She goes, nothing's that excruciating. And I said, I've had them. So I guess, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
I just want this out.
Yeah. And you got lucky to take care of you when you come home.
This dog has not left my side.
Mm-hmm.
She knows, but anyway, so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's go on to another one.
Okay.
Rania wants to know, will there be a problem to live in California 7 to 8 years from now? I am thinking if nature will change drastically. Well, it's already changing drastically.
It is, but there's not going to, California, you're not going to have the overtaking like you would in other states.
Places.
They're very strict about keeping our forests and water and stuff.
California has some good environmental laws, and I'm not ready to buy beachfront property in Arizona just yet. So,
or anywhere.
Right, there you go.
Okay, so Olga wrote, my question is, with the dangers of artificial intelligence being able to make news look real, will we be facing more problems ahead with fake news? Will we ever return to honest reporting, or has it always been more propaganda than real news?
Well, I'm not so much worried about artificial intelligence. I'm more concerned about the people who report stuff from certain news channels that are just outright lies.
I know, just absolutely lying.
What I see is the word accountability, my psychic light bulb, accountability, so that a lot of these news outlets, when they report things that are lies and they know it's lies, they're going to be held accountable. And Fox News is not over with lawsuits yet.
I know
it's coming. And so
I guess I read today that Fox News has lost a lot of viewers since they got rid of Tucker Carlson, a third of their viewers. But you know what? Shingles doesn't care.
Well, he'll try to launch something else, but
no, well, they're stopping him. He tried to do a Twitter thing and they sued him, or they said, you can't, he's still under contract when they're going to keep him down low.
And they will till his contract is up, but he'll try other stuff, but I don't see it.
They want him to be insignificant. My feeling on the artificial intelligence, though, is there will be some groups will try to put out bull that may initially make people worried. But I see governments really bearing down on them, closing them out.
That's exactly right. All right. I don't get it with Twitter that, they talk about free speech and letting some of these MAGA people say what they want to say. But when others of us want to say what we want to say, we get restricted.
Oh, I know.
And that's
and by the way, the Supreme Court was it Louisiana or Mississippi? They shot down they were trying to do the borders and blocking out the Black community, which is a large community, for voting. And the Supreme Court said, nope, you got to go with the lower court's decision and you got to change those borders.
Yay. I don't have a lot of respect for certain members of the Supreme Court right
Neither
now.
do I. But they're
it's-
acting more reasonable right now.
Because they know they got caught. And there are certain justices who do have integrity. That's a yes. And I see in the future more background checks on these justices before they go in the court. No more hobnobbing with constituents to buy legislation. That's all going to change.
Yep.
So
And all their personal stuff.
that's right.
All that underhanded. Hey, listen, does your dog ever just go outside in the sun and sit down?
Does Lucky just go outside in the sun and sit down? Yeah.
Jack just now, he's done this several times. He sits right where the sun, because there's shade out there. He sits down almost like, oh, it's sun time. He does it for a few minutes and he comes back in.
She does that. Or what's amazing with her, she's fascinated by airplanes. Even if she's going to the bathroom, if an airplane goes over, she'll stop and she'll look, and she looks at that plane and she looks until the plane goes over. Then she does what she was doing. Yeah. But yeah, she does. She likes to lay in the sun a little bit.
I had to bring that up. So did you have another question you said?
Oh, okay. I like this. Okay. Catherine Lukowski. Hi, Linda and Mel. Love you both. Thank you. Sending healing energy for you both. Yay. Mel for complete healing, sustained energy, and Linda for sustained energy and health. Okay. Is Michigan entering a sustained period of drought? Thank you. I don't see a sustained period of drought.
I see it resolving, but it's another year or so.
That's what I think. Well, I'm thinking, I see the number 11, which would be 11 months. So there we go.
Because we had it for years, like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 years. We've been in a drought, and it just now is resolved.
Well, just like we had predicted, for California, people would ask about it. And I said, watch what you ask for, because you're going to have record.
Because we had Armageddon rains.
Yeah.
The snow is still melting.
I know.
I love it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, this is Chris. My question concerns the many voting poll workers who are leaving because they feel they're under threat. Will this become a factor in the upcoming election? I see true heroes coming out.
So do I.
I see people saying, no, by God, I'll come out there and help. Like just now with this thing that they did with trying to stop the Black communities from voting. I see people coming out and saying, nope, white and Black, we'll come out, we'll help them vote.
That makes me want to go work at the polls even more.
Right, and in Texas too.
And they'll have police presence there too. And look at what I pulled.
Ooh, victory.
That's right. So, it's reminiscent of years ago in the South, voter intimidation and things like that. And
yeah,
so it's not going to work.
I love it. Okay, your turn.
These modern day Jim Crow laws will be overturned. I'm telling you.
They will. You can't mess, and in Congress too, you can't mess with the Constitution. This new group tried to mess with the Constitution. They got caught, and they got caught doing things that were unbecoming. So now they're trying, except for Thomas, who doesn't care, they're trying to turn it around, Kavanaugh especially. So you might see some more good news coming out of Congress.
Oh,
the SCOTUS, sorry.
I agree. They're nervous. Some of those justices are nervous, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got one?
Yes, Sydney Downey says, will communities, the Dems and the DOJ put a stop to voter suppression before the 2024 election? I hear yes.
Okay, good.
Because some of that's going to go to the Supreme Court, just like some of it did. They're going to say, no.
No, they're going to say you can't. And this is constitutional. It's constitutional law.
You can't you cannot limit people's right to vote. You cannot.
Yes.
And they know better. So that's what I see. All right, Linda, you're on.
So Ellie wrote, and she said, my father passed recently, and I'm wondering how he is, and has he reunited with our loved ones? I'm the only one left on earth other than my children and grandchildren.
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
She wants to know, her dad just passed recently. Is he reunited with others on the other side?
Oh, absolutely.
That's the first thing they do.
Always. You know, it's funny. Before I had my open heart surgery, I was dreaming of my relatives in spirit, and they were playing poker. I mean, I was brought up playing poker.
Yeah.
Not that great of a poker player, but it was my grandma, my grandpa, all my relatives in spirit. And and in the dream, I would wake up upset because they wouldn't let me play cards with them. And I couldn't figure it out. Then I was diagnosed and I had to go through open heart surgery, and I got it. It's like, oh, they're telling me I'm not ready to come to cross over because they won't let me play cards. For the past 3 or 4 months, I've been dreaming of my relatives in spirit, and I think it's something ain't right. And I dreamt that I was trying to go visit them, and I could see them. I was talking to one, but there was all this flood water, and I couldn't get through it. And I kept thinking, what does that mean? And then I was diagnosed with this, and I think it's them telling me I'm not ready to cross over yet.
There you go. That's what they're doing.
So I told the doctor that, and she goes, oh, I got cold chills, and she asked what I do for a living, and I told her, and she was like, that is so cool.
That's cool. That's cool.
So anyway, so yes, he is reunited with the loved ones. The answer is yes. I feel
Absolutely. She says she's the only one left on earth besides her children and grandchildren. Well, listen, and that means she's getting more attention from all them dead relatives.
that's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's Scarhill. I can't pronounce it. Question. I'm hearing the Saudis are in town to sue Trump. They loaned him $5 million for his campaign. Whoa.
Just recently?
They are in court Monday. I believe the Saudis are implicated for state secret, which they are quite willing to publicly unveil. I think I have this story somewhat correct. I do think they all owe him money, and I think they want it back.
Yeah.
But I've always seen whistleblowers coming from other countries to say what they have.
Let me tell you, when Biden wins again, it's going to be a what you call cluster, you know what?
You got that right.
Because I see it's just like done. And why did we hold this man up when he's totally worthless? He did not help us. It's like, you guys, ding, ding, ding. You guys don't get it. It's like they don't get it. Why are you? It's like holding up the Confederate flag or the Nazi flag. Why are you going all gung-ho for wars that were lost? Like you're going gung-ho for a Trump that has lost. And he's going to lose again.
He's going to lose again.
But
going to lose again.
But I feel, so in fact, that goes into the question I just got too, that people are, she said, how many years of Democratic control will there be? It's going to, and when he loses again in 24, there may be a Republican that's solid. I do see the Republican force totally revamping, going through a metamorphosis. No more of this Christian stuff. They'll push that stuff out.
That's what I see. And back to what the Republicans talked about was individual rights, and now which they're trying to rob everybody of.
Yes.
This ultra-Christian nationalism at some point will go by the wayside.
And they want that, you know what, they want the government out of you, but the government's telling women, if you're raped, you keep that child.
Well, that's the thing, you know, the government needs to keep their eyes out of women's, you know what's, and out of our bedrooms, and their hands out of our pocketbooks.
Yeah.
And stop messing with Social Security, calling it an entitlement, which it's not. It's something who's into. So, you know, but I'm also seeing, my guide showed me this, a third party coming into play.
Not this one that's doing up now, because they're nothing.
No. I'm talking about a formidable third party that's more middle of the road, that's for workers, it's for affordable health care. but but it also kind of stresses individual rights. You know, it's very middle of the road. And I see it gaining a lot of impetus and strength.
Good.
So yay.
And it's more for the younger crowd too, is what I'm hearing.
Correct. Absolutely.
Because the young people are the ones who are getting ready to jump in. Full
They're
force.
gonna be
They're not taking no prisoners.
they're gonna be anti-MAGA, like a lot of Republicans are anti-MAGA. They just won't
Yeah.
say it. But these young people coming up, they are gonna be like white on rice.
Yes. Yes.
And they're gonna be for women's rights, LGBTQ, they're gonna be for like affordable health care, all of this stuff that we really need to have in this country.
And you know, I gotta tell you guys, that Robert Kennedy Jr.,
No,
it's also, he's not gonna win. He's like a wolf in sheep's clothing.
I would never vote for him.
He's not a very good man, and he's going to Republican events and speaking. It's weird. It's weird.
I'm sure that JFK and Bobby Kennedy and all those are turning over their grave.
Oh, well, they're not judging him because they're on the other side, and it's all about love over there.
I get it.
But they can say they're
don't
not
like
understanding what this person's doing.
They don't like what he's doing.
Yeah.
All right. A healer within asks, if Trump negotiates with Jack Smith, which senators will he give up? Well, number one, I don't see Trump negotiating with Jack Smith. I don't think Jack Smith wants to negotiate with Trump.
Oh, well, you know, and Trump thinks if he can just make this last, he's going to win. He thinks he's going to win as president.
Correct.
That's why he's not really going to make any deal.
Or he thinks if a Republican gets in, they'll pardon him.
Yes. It's not going to happen.
But you know what? I do see at some point they might offer him downward departure. That means if, you know, whether than charge it with all these things, if you work with us, we'll charge you with this, this, and that. But he's not going to take that either. You know?
No, especially if they say we don't want you running for president. He won't do it.
Correct.
Because he thinks he's going to win, which is a plus in our pocket because he's going to lose. What's he going to say? Rigged again?
Oh, he'll think of something. But, you know, it's funny. He's really got to watch his health.
I know. I've been seeing that.
And I see his empire crumbling.
And and I see that Mar-a-Lago being taken over by the government, the federal government, for back taxes.
It will be. When I ask about Donald Trump, here's what I pulled. So he doesn't have as much money as he's making everybody think he has.
Right. And also he demanded all his people get out there and fight for him. And nothing happened.
And I asked if people would see the truth about Donald Trump, and I got the hanged man, which means, you know, the hanged man sees it upside down, but I see the truth coming out. And, you know, his followers, his little base will be his little base, but a lot of other people are going to start going the other way.
Yes. Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Me too. Okay.
So Modern Mystic said, my question is the Ohio August special election, will that pass? If it passes, it will make it harder to change our state constitution. We're scheduled to vote on protecting abortion right in November. If this measure passes in August, November needs 60% majority to pass instead of the current 51%. Thank you both.
I get that they'll get the numbers they need.
I see them being able to protect abortion rights.
That's what I see.
Oh, come 24, when Biden gets in there again, it's going to be I see constitutional amendments taking place.
And I see Roe v. Wade being upheld at some point.
Yes.
Now, I think they'll say the states can limit like term limits for abortion, but I still not like at 4 weeks, but
right.
It's too soon. I mean, that's like at 4, most people don't know they're pregnant at 4 weeks.
Yes.
But I see a lot of these draconian laws that these states have passed. I see that overturned.
Yes, good.
So, and I still see new justice on the court. I thought it would have happened before now, but it will happen.
Right.
And I see
haven't-
LGBTQ rights codified, and I see affirmative action coming back and all of
Yeah,
that.
all that'll come back. And the younger folks are gonna start taking, like those two young guys. Where were they at in Colorado?
Well, the ones where they got censured, look at
Oh,
what
Tennessee.
yeah, look at that backfired on the MAGAs, and look what happened. Those guys that were censured, they're going to be up and coming
Oh,
stars.
yeah. And then a lot of the spotlight was on the drunks in there and the lowlives. It was wonderful.
I still see Wes Moore at some point. He's the governor of Maryland. I see him being president.
Wow.
I've often said that. He's going to be like another Barack Obama.
Yeah.
The man's amazing.
You got another question, sweetie?
Oh, yes, I do. Okay. Does this say Jilly? I don't have I need to get stronger glasses. Love and light to you, Mel. You got this. Thank you. Hi, Linda. It says NASA says the internet will go down. When and why? I'm not seeing that. If it
I'm
goes,
not seeing
it's
it
not going to
either.
last for long. So I don't know what they're talking about, but I don't see it.
I just got this weird light just now. When you said that, I see Russia changing their tune, going a different direction, and China will be forced to stop being so critical. And I see, the United States really getting strong.
Well, when you do that side take, it's right on.
Yeah, I just saw it. They just showed me this beautiful piece that will overcome us. And Andre said we were in a time frame that totally exactly matched the Civil War. The planets are just exactly the same, which is sort of what we're going through. But in the end, justice won.
And I think there were some of those MAGAs who'd want to have a civil war.
Yeah.
I said MAGA. Somebody criticized I shouldn't say MAGA, so I did.
Maggot is what it's called.
I know.
Okay. Is it your turn or my turn? It's my turn.
It's your turn.
My 6-year-old grandson, this is Don Mason, is terrified to have water on his face, which is making swim lessons or washing his hair impossible. Is this a fear from a past life?
I think
absolutely.
It's a fear from a past life. But when you ask that question, I see him getting over that fear.
Yeah, but he definitely drowned, and that remembrance is still with him. My daughter used to have a fear of going across bridges, just fearful. And I'm sure it's because she had died in some sort of bridge crash.
It's funny, as a kid, I almost drowned. I don't remember it, but my mother made us take swimming lessons. And I remember jumping in the water and somebody said, I'll catch you. And they didn't. And thinking, oh my God, I'm going to drown. But then I didn't want to get my face underwater, nothing. But then I took swimming lessons, and within, I don't know, 4 or 5 days.
He's still 6. I had a son that wasn't a fan. And usually when they get about 9, they get a little easier.
I see him swimming at some point.
Okay.
So, okay. Oh, this is good. Peanut says, hi to both of you. Hi, Peanut. It says, best wishes to Mel. Thank you for the healing, love, and energy. What is Robert Mueller thinking now? He's probably thinking, I told you so.
And they're going to bring it back up, by the way, the Mueller report. Yeah.
That's right. And it says, maybe he could have been more forthcoming about the charges. Well, it wasn't up to Mueller to charge. It was up to Mueller to investigate. And he handed it over to the House and to Congress and said, now they need to do their job.
Exactly.
Bill Barr said this is a nothing burger when really it wasn't. So that was Trump put Bill Barr in there because he knew he could control Bill Barr.
Yeah, at the time, he can't anymore.
So this person says he should have been more outspoken about Russian involvement, and maybe Trump would have not felt so emboldened. Just found that the report he didn't come out and really state, but this is just my view. Well, that's from Canada. Actually, he did say what he needed to say
at that congressional hearing.
Correct. And so he said Congress needs to do their job.
Yeah. So Michelle said, I was wondering about Greg Abbott. Is he going to get in any trouble? I swear he's just like Trump.
The answer is
starting
yes.
to get anxiety attacks about all this. And remember, he's the one that just said, no, contractual workers don't need a break in the heat. Texas is so hot, and he said no to the brakes.
They should put his ass, pardon my language,
Out in the heat.
out in the heat and have him do work, and let's see what happens. He'd
Yeah.
be the first.
Yeah.
So wrong answer.
You got another one, my friend?
I see him out.
And put him out there in a sweater.
There you go. Wool. All right. Okay. Mary Myers says, prayers for Alpha Mary and Reagan Sedona. Thank you. Question. Will Florida Supreme Court follow the state's constitution and find the abortion bans unconstitutional as the lower court did?
Wait, well, read that again.
It says, will Florida's Supreme Court follow the state's constitution and find the abortion bans unconstitutional as the
No,
lower?
because the Florida Supreme Court is in the hands of the Rottweiler.
But at some point,
Actually, he's a, what's that small dog?
Chihuahua,
Yeah, he's a Chihuahua, not a Rottweiler.
at some point, I see though that that abortion ban lifted in Florida, and I see the Satan gone.
Oh, yeah. Well, that'll all happen, but not until after 24.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. For entertainment purposes only, at Centels. Some legal eagles think that Nata lied to the grand jury and wonder why he hasn't been charged. But someone said that might have been to the grand jury in DC. And if that's the case, he would be charged in DC. Do you
Correct.
see any charges in DC?
Who was his name?
Nata, that's Trump's right-hand man, the little guy that moved all the records.
Well, if he lied and if he in Washington, D.C., that's federal, that's not state.
Yeah.
So he would be charged federally.
Well, this in Florida is federal too.
Right. But so I see not whatever his name is, I see him getting into trouble. Absolutely.
Yeah, and then trying to make a deal. It might be a day late and a dollar short.
Well, he's going to talk behind the scenes, so they'll use him as a whistleblower too.
Yeah.
But I have more whistleblowers coming forward. My guides keep telling me that, and some from foreign countries.
Wow. Okay, we have time for one more question because I have a lunch engagement today.
Happy lunch. All right. Okay, there's a guy, I think the Russian guy's name was Prigozhin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Uh,
Who's the question from?
Give me a second. Okay, so we've answered that one. I'm just okay. Give me a second. Oh, free spirit hippie. I like this. This is a good one. Is Judge Eileen Cannon the woman who brings Trump down?
No.
No.
I just want to do a quick one too.
Okay.
Someone, Amy, asked about, will there be more support for long COVID in the coming years? Absolutely, yes. I see a lot of scientific studies being done. I see a lot of things taking place where they bring this out in the open and truthfully talk about it.
The answer to that is yes.
All right, you guys, I love you all.
All right, sweetie.
And we'll see you next Monday. Be sure to come next Monday.
My channel.
And we only have 12 tickets left for the event. At www.lindagrindle.com. Hit the event thing and yeah.
AKA Bodacious Tatas.
And we're going to have Kevin Lewis, Mel Dore, and myself. Cheers, everyone.
I'm so happy Kevin is joining us.
I know. You know, we did that. I thought of it because you were talking like you was dying. And I was, you know, being that we had already done this, we could either have canceled it and we needed to cancel it soon, or I get someone in your place. And I thought, well, why not Kevin? So I asked him and he said, absolutely, yes. So,
and I'm so grateful that he stepped up to the plate. And I'm so grateful that he said, you know, in the event I couldn't make it, that he would be there. And that meant a great deal to me as well.
Right, but he's making it even with you being there.
I'm so
We
excited.
thought we'd go ahead and keep the threesome, and it's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be fun. We're going to have a ball.
And Mark, you know, is a concierge of San Francisco gay scene.
Mark's amazing.
Isn't he wonderful? And I told both of you guys are married, and so you won't be shopping. But I told him the next day that he's in charge of the boys. Because the next day after the event, my sister and all of us are leaving. And he's the one that's going to take you guys to the airport on Sunday.
We'll put a sign. We'll go with our 10 cents a dance.
I'm going to have him take a picture. I hope you're not going to be wearing Dixie. What do they call those shorts? Daisy Dukes. With big sunglasses and carrying a little flag.
I've got 2 sunglasses with the middle finger. I should wear those. Here's to Kansas.
Oh my God, they had I wasn't there, but I watched a lot of it on YouTube. The Gay Pride Parade in San Francisco. It was fantastic. And you could tell by watching the energy. And Adam Schiff was there.
Wow.
And Nancy Pelosi. Anyway, so everybody was dancing. It was so much fun. But this what Trans said was so funny. What did she say? She said, doggone it, hold on. I'll tell you what it was. I thought it was hysterical. Here we go. Anyway. Glitter louder.
I love it.
I thought that was so cool. That's what it was. I was thinking glitter loud. No, she said glitter louder. That was her advice.
Well, when I found out I had this cancer, I went out to sell my body to make some money in case I can't work for a while. And I made $25.25. And Gary said, "Who gave you the quarter?" And I said, "They all did."
All right. Bye, you guys. Love you all.
Bye.
Cheers.